Greetings, Fremont family. My name is Pete Montgomery, and I'm one of the elders at church. And coming to you this fine day with another in our series of devotionals on the Psalms. Today we are going to be taking a look at Psalm chapter 36. And I'll go ahead and read to you. It's a wonderful 12 verses. And then we'll talk a little bit about how this psalm breaks down as you look to study it. For the director of music, of David, the servant of the Lord, I have a message from God in my heart concerning the sinfulness of the wicked. There is no fear of God before their eyes. In their own eyes they flatter themselves too much to detect or hate their sin. The words of their mouths are wicked and deceitful. They fail to act wisely or do good. Even on their beds they plot evil. They commit themselves to a sinful course and do not reject what is wrong. Your love, Lord, reaches to the heavens, your faithfulness to the skies. Your righteousness is like the highest mountains, your justice like the great deep. You, Lord, preserve both people and animals. How priceless is your unfailing love, O God. People take refuge in the shadow of your wings. They feast on the abundance of your house. You give them drink from your river of delights. For with you is the fountain of life. In your light we see light. Continue your love to those who know you, your righteousness to the upright in heart. May the foot of the proud not come against me, or the hand of the wicked drive me away. See how the evildoers lie fallen, throw down, not able to rise. What a wonderful poet David is. One of the things that strikes me about this one, it's not the main gist of the psalm, is it's the second time David refers to himself as the servant of the Lord. David would, and I think it's Psalm chapter 18, David would prefer that be his role as a servant of the Lord. I just think that's wonderful. As someone who has had so many roles in service to God, that servant is his preferred title. When you look at Psalm chapter 36, it's really broken down kind of into three themes, I guess. The first part of the psalm is really talking about the sin. David notes that those who reject God find themselves overtaken by sin. They lose all respect for the Lord and all fear of eternal consequences for their actions. Sin is so addictive that those who turn from God find themselves constantly pursuing sin, even when they try to sleep, which is from verse 4. Even on their beds, they plot evil. And then David goes on to talk about, in contrast, God's character is flawless and perfect. He extols on the wonderful ways that God extends a measure of grace to all people and all animals even. David talks about the Lord's graciousness and his steadfast love and his loving kindness. I like the way this passage uses the imagery of God's protection extending like the wings of a mother bird. In the end, David closes with an appeal for God to maintain that steadfast love to his people. Despite the attacks of the wicked people, he prays for God's protection against those assaults. And in the end, the imagery which David puts out ends it with David picturing those enemies as already defeated, so utterly conquered that they can never group. So again, we have David with a proclamation of the wickedness and the sin which is pervasive, and he contrasts that and moves into just the love and grace of our God. And then ends it with a prayer that grace and love would continue and protect all of God's people. What a wonderful way to start the week. I encourage you to be in Psalm chapter 36, be in prayer, be in thanks for the wonderful character that David talks about for our loving God. Thanks, amen, and have a great week.